Hi guys, this is Susan of the Alexandrite System, and Cats 2019 was a good movie.
Jellicles can and jellicles do.
Jellicles do and jellicles can.
Jellicles can.
So if we were doing a big formal thing on this is where Sandra would be like, Cats is a 2019 film, was directed by Tom Hooper, but so I'm just going to tell you a little about Cats. So for anyone who doesn't know what Cats is about this clan of cats called the Jellicle Cats. And once a year they meet under the Jellicle moon for the Jellicle Ball, and their leader, Old Deuteronomy, picks who goes to the Heaviside lair to come back to a new life. The plot is basically an excuse to put these poems by T.S. Eliot to music. So Cats came out in December, and a lot of people gave it a lot of flack for the way that the characters look, and I get it. Like they're a little scary, but like once you're like 5 minutes into the movie, you stop noticing. And then people who saw the movie and did reviews were like, "Oh, it makes no sense. There's no plot. It's weirdly horny. Like, that's Cats. Sorry." Really, every criticism of Cats 2019 is just a recycled criticism from like the 90s. So in order to bring some positivity to the Cats 2019 scene on YouTube, I'm going to be ranking every cat from worst to best. Before we start, let's get some rules out of the way. My rankings are based on the 2019 movie only. So we're not talking about the 1979 show, we're not talking about the 1998 direct-to-video, we are talking only about 2019 cats. So I'm sorry if your favorite cat is like Jelly Lorem from the 1998 video, but I don't know who that is. And I'm only going to be ranking the cats that either say their name or have a significant role in a song that's on the album. Later on in the video, we're going to do like a bonus lightning round of the background cats, so I can get all of my chorus cat opinions in then. Unfortunately, I gotta say that any chorus cat is kind of below most of the cats on this list, just because they're less of a character. So my criteria for ranking these cats are: how good is their song? How visually appealing are they? How is their performance? Are they nice? And do I like them? So without further ado, let's go and rank all 14 cats that have names or a significant role in a song from Cats 2019, from worst to best. Number 14, Tiger Growl.
Growl Tiger. I'm a Bravo cat. I travel along the bulge.
Tiger Growl is barely a character. He gets maybe a full minute of screen time and like a 30-second song.
From Gravesend up to Oxford, I pursue.
He's basically just there to be a henchman, which is fine, but he's kind of bottom of the list by default. He's only really on this list because he has a song and he says his name out loud. And we're going to move on because I don't want to dedicate more time to Tiger Growl than he has on screen.
Terror of the Thames.
Right, no, see, that doesn't rhyme.
Number 13, Bustopher Jones.
I'm not skin and bones. In fact, I'm remarkably fat.
So it's this kind of joke in the cats community where like everyone seems to hate Bustopher Jones for some reason. And like, I don't really like him either. But I will say he's more of a character in this one than he is in the stage show. I think James Corden does an okay job as Bustopher. There's not a lot to work with in the character. The only thing I don't like is that there's this bit where he says like, you know I'm sensitive about my weight.
Look at you and look at me, and you know that I'm sensitive about my size.
And it's in the middle of his song where he's talking about how he's fat and he loves being fat and he's planning on getting fatter, and if he gets to be chosen as the Jellicle choice, he's going to come back as a skinny cat so he can get fat again. It's a bad read, James.
To drop in for a drink at the drug.
Number 12, Gus, the theater cat.
Gus is the cat at the theater door.
So there was this video that went viral recently that was like, it was like this sketch comedy thing, and it was someone singing the song from every musical that no one likes. And their summary of it was basically like, it's a song usually sung by an older man. It's at kind of a slow pace, and everyone skips it when it comes up on the album, and it really doesn't serve much of a point. So that song for cats is Gus the Theater Cat.
My name, as I ought to have told you before, is really Asparagus, but that's such a fuss to pronounce that they usually call me just Gus.
Ian McKellen brings a lot to this role than normally this role has. This is actually more on the fun side of Gus' performances. I think his moment before the song with Mr Mistoffelees, where they're talking a little about like performing stuff, it's a really nice moment.
I just wanted to wish you jolly good luck. I'm a tremendous fan of your work.
And then I just kind of zone out during his song. In fact, I spent a lot of time in my last watching just kind of looking at the background cats during this. And I noticed that Skimble Shanks is actually like polishing his tap shoes in the background because his song is right after. And that was a nice detail. I really like that. And I think it was in this one too, where there was a cat in the way back and they were like really out of focus and they just kind of like, they stuck their arm up and waved. And like, if that was you and you're watching this video, I saw you. I don't think you were supposed to do that. So I don't know. It's just, Gus is an old man. This is an old man song.
And I say now, these kittens, they do not get trained as we did in the days when Victoria reigned.
Okay, Boomer.
The gallery once gave me 7 cat calls.
Number 11, Jenny Anydots.
I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots.
So I'm sure a lot of people would probably put Jenny Anydots even lower for Cats 2019 because this is like one of the things that everyone talks about, where Rebel Wilson unzips her skin. But like, when I saw it, it didn't really take me by surprise. Jenny Anydots has this really like kind of Bugs Bunny cartooniness to her in this version. She's like using her tail as a microphone to sing, and she has all these like singing and dancing animals around her. Like, she's the most cartoony character in this animated movie. So like when she like unzips her like cat fur and there's a sequin vest underneath, like, that's funny. I really like that. And I think it's a really clever use of the animation. Like, if you saw that on stage, it would probably be even weirder. But like, you can kind of get away with it here. Honestly, I think Rebel Wilson gives kind of a fun performance. The reason that she's so low is really just because she's not in a lot of the movie. She like disappears like 5 minutes after she shows up. She's maybe in like another minute or 2 of it. But the catsuit thing does come back. That's how a lot of the cats escape from Macavity at the end. So yeah, I think it's cool.
Don't mess with the crazy cat lady.
Number 10, the Rum Tum Tugger.
And there's no doing anything about wow, no.
So if this were like the 98 show, I would probably put Tugger at the very top because John Partridge is...
There's no doing anything about it.
very good. And don't get me wrong, Jason Derulo is really good too. He's clearly just having like so much fun with this. Like, I'm so glad that he got to be in this because he really, really likes it, I guess. The reason that he's so low on my list is because I wish they gave him more stuff to do. He, like, only really has one other moment in the whole show, and that's, like, during the Jellicle Ball. In the stage show, he normally has a bigger role, but they gave a lot of his parts to Mongoose, which, I don't know, makes sense, I guess, but it just kind of wrings out a lot of his character. But I really like this version of the character. I think the update from, like, a Mick Jagger kind of, like, celebrity kind of person to, like, a hip-hop star is a really smart move. And, you know, picking Jason Derulo is really good because, you know, he yells his own name in a lot of his songs. And I think that's just kind of a very rum-tum-tugger attitude.
Jason Derulo.
So I think Jason Derulo is really good in this. I just wish he was in more of it. Number 9, Grizabella the Glamour Cat.
You see the border of her coat is torn.
So Jennifer Hudson is probably the best Grizabella of all time, or at least she has the best, like, climax to memory probably ever sang. So her voice and her singing and her acting is very good. But she's low on this list because she's really visually unappealing. Her face kind of looks like it's sliding off a lot. And I'm someone who will, like, really, really defend the CGI choices in this movie because I think the fur looks really good and I think the lighting is really good. And it's just, I think it looks really good. But some of the faces slide around a little, and Jennifer Hudson's is probably the worst. And on top of that, her nose is just constantly running in this movie. She just constantly has this, like, big booger right here. And, like, I get it because it's probably, like, supposed to be cold out and she's, like, crying a lot, but please get that cat a tissue. On top of that, they somehow made her character less sympathetic because they actually gave a reason for all the cats to hate her. Like, they said that she, like, joined up with Macavity at some point, and, like, Macavity is, like, a bad guy. So they made her, like, I guess an ex-bad guy. And, like, I'm not gonna say that her character is unsympathetic or anything, but it's, like, they add this weird extra layer to it where it's like, I like it, but it makes me like Grizabella less. So, I don't know. Jennifer Hudson is great. Grizabella, not so much. So the exact ordering of these next few, I kind of went back and forth on a lot. So just kind of know that all of these are kind of equal, but maybe slightly better than each other. Number 8, Old Deuteronomy.
I believe it is Old Deuteronomy.
So, like, what can I say about Old Deuteronomy? It's Judi Dench, and she's having fun. She was supposed to be in, like, the original staging of Cats, but she, like, did something to her Achilles tendon, and she, like, couldn't dance anymore. So I know that she was, like, really happy to be able to be involved in the movie. And you can tell she's having fun. And seeing a woman in the role of Old Deuteronomy is really cool. Like, that's a really cool interpretation of the character. And Judi Dench just kind of seems like cat royalty. She's very dignified and she, like, has a commanding presence.
Would you like to see me make the Jellicle choice?
Am I allowed?
Why wouldn't you be allowed?
I'm not a Jellicle.
Not yet, perhaps.
So, Old Deuteronomy is cool with me.
Strasbourg pie, some potted grouse, or...
Number 7, Ballerina.
Macavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw.
So this one really surprised me. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't think her music is that good, and I don't know, her personality kind of sets me off a little bit. But Taylor Swift really does an amazing job in this movie. She gives Ballerina this, like, femme fatale quality, where she's, like, Macavity's right-hand man, which isn't, like, a kind of a normal interpretation of the character. She first shows up on this, like, this flying moon thing that, like, shoots out catnip, and it's really cool. And like you see her feet first pretty much, and you see immediately that she's wearing heels, and it looks really, really silly, but it's actually really cool because she then like towers over every other chorus cat, and I think it really works for her character. She also had really good chemistry with Idris Elba as Macavity. I think they work together really well in the few scenes that they're in together. The one thing I'll say is that she kind of tries to sing in an English accent, and it doesn't really work. In the few moments where it's like really kind of forced, it doesn't sound good. She should have just tried to sing without it. But, you know, good job, T-Swift. I stan.
Like a snake.
Number 6, Macavity.
A wonderful magician, but a monster of depravity.
I really like that Macavity is more of a presence in this movie than he is in the stage show. In the stage show, like everyone thinks they see him a couple of times, but we don't really get who he is right away. And then he shows up and he's just like this demon cat. And it's really weird. There's like a fight scene in the stage show. It's whatever. It's kind of cool. In this one, they gave Macavity a reason to be there, and his design is somehow creepier, and I really think that the like uncanny valleyness of the CGI really works to full effect here, where Idris Elba just has these like glowing green eyes. He's just rail thin underneath the coat he's wearing. And again, Idris Elba is having so much fun. Like he chews through all of the scenery. He's gonna chew right through the screen and come get you. My ears are itchy. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say about Macavity. I think Idris Elba does a good job. I think they did a good job rewriting the character a little. I'm glad he has more to do. I'm glad they kind of made a better antagonist for the show.
Macavity!
Number 5, Victoria.
I was abandoned.
Oh, poor thing.
So in the show, Victoria is one of the chorus cats, and she kind of stands out from everyone else because she's just like, she's all white. So in this one, she's not exactly all white. She's like kind of an off-white to gray, and they gave her like leopard spots and stripes. Tiger stripes and leopard spots. And I think it makes her a little more visually interesting. They also gave her a backstory, and Taylor Swift also like collaborated with Andrew Lloyd Webber to write a song for her for this. It's bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's just
born into nothing. With them I have something.
It's bad. Sorry. I think she was an interesting choice for a point of view character. And I like her backstory. I think it's interesting. And I think it gives something to her character. They kind of took Syllabub's role in the show and just kind of like shoved it into Victoria, which is fine. Because if you ask any random person on the street who saw cats once who Syllabub is, they would not know. They wouldn't know who Victoria was either, but if you said the white cat, it would probably at least jog their memory a little. I think that Francesca Hayworth does a really good job. I know that she's a professional ballerina, and it really shows. She does some great dancing in this. I think her acting and singing is pretty good too. If I'm going to be nitpicky, I think there are some points where she's rushing the music a little bit, but I think that acting comes before singing. And she gets it right for the album, so it doesn't really matter. Miss Hayworth, you should come on the show sometime if you're not doing anything.
All that I wanted was to be wanted.
Number 4, the magical Mr. Mistoffelees.
Magical Mr. Mistoffelees.
So this is a much different interpretation of the Mr. Mistoffelees character. Normally he's like pretty bombastic and like vain and like performative, and he's like really close with Rum Tum Tugger to the point where a lot of people on Tumblr ship them. But in this one, he's kind of like shy and like kind of unconfident, but he kind of oscillates between like, please look at me and please don't look at me. He's also like set up to be with Victoria by the end. But also because they gave a lot of like the cheerleading parts in his song to Mongoose, he also has a lot of chemistry with Mongoose.
Was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr Mistoffelees?
So what I'm saying is Monkstafatoria. Yeah, I think Laurie Davidson does a really good job here. But Mr. Davidson, you kind of look like you're on the brink of crying the whole time.
Jellicle Cats come out tonight. Jellicles come to the Jellicle ball.
Alright, before we get into my top 3 cats, let's do a quick bonus round of every background cat who has a name. I don't have a lot to say about those cats. I'm not really going to justify my rankings. I think all the background cats did a great job. Number 3, Skimble Shanks, the railway cat. I think this was the cat that everyone came out of the movie really loving. Like, I saw so many people on like Twitter and Tumblr who were like, I didn't like the movie, but Skimble Shanks is amazing. And it's true, he is. The actor who plays him, his name is Stephen McRae. He does a really good job. He's an amazing tap dancer. That moment where he kind of like starts up the train, like the tick 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 tick. It's a really cool moment. I kind of wish they included the whole thing on the album, even if it would grind the album to a halt, but they include some of it, so I'm happy with that. I kind of think that one of the reasons why everyone likes Skimble Shanks so much is because his song is right after Gus's song, so he kind of like brings life back into the movie and the show. It's that way in the show too. I think Skimble Shanks had a really easy act to follow. And I think for the movie they gave him a really interesting outfit. It again kind of leans into that cartooniness where he's just wearing pants and a hat. Stephen McRae does a good job. I think the song for Skimble Shanks is really good. Skimble Shanks just kind of slaps. Number 2, Mongoose.
And Jellicles ask, because Jellicles dare, who will it be?
Mongoose is such an odd character because he's arguably the male lead of both the movie and the show, but they never say his name, but Robbie Fairchild absolutely kills it in this performance. I think his singing is really good, his dancing is really good, his acting is really fun, and they gave him even more stuff to do since they took a lot of stuff from Tugger. They really amped up his part. I wish they said his name at some point. And Robbie Fairchild has such a commanding presence. Like, anytime Mongoose is in a scene, like you can't help but look at him.
Can we get a spotlight?
Please don't make me do this.
And a drum roll, please.
Yeah, I think he just kind of has the presence of a leader, and he really just kind of fits this role. And I think it's a really good performance. So, who is my Jellicle choice? My number 1, who is my absolute favorite cat? Well, I cheated because it's 2 cats. Number 1, Mungo Jerry and Rumpleteazer.
Can we help you?
You really shouldn't be out alone.
I think that anyone who knows me in real life and has listened to me talk about cats knows that I absolutely love this scene in the movie and this song. The arrangement that they used for this song is actually like the original London arrangement.
Mungo Jerry
And Rumple Teaser.
we're a notorious couple of cats.
For basically every other show, they went to this kind of like plodding 4/4 time song.
Mungo Jerry
And Rumple Teaser.
we're a notorious couple of cats.
It's playful, but it's not, I don't know, I don't really like it. Especially hearing this first and then going back and watching 98. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer are just utterly forgettable in that. I think their scene is the most visually appealing part of the entire movie. It is so memorable and so well constructed, and it has such great choreography where there's like several scenes where it's just kind of like old school Broadway, where like they go down this big staircase and like they have all these like dance moves that just feel kind of like 30s Broadway, and it just is really cool and it really works. I think the characters themselves are really fun too. I like how like mischievous they are in this one. Like in a lot of the stage shows, they're like kind of naughty and kind of like they're fun loving, but in this one they're like kind of criminals, and it's really cool. I like that they end up working for Macavity for a little bit because they thought it was fun and they didn't actually know what his plan was. I think they have really good chemistry with each other, and I think they have really good chemistry with Victoria. You can tell that all these actors just had like a lot of fun filming with each other for these scenes. My one singular criticism is just I wish they had a little more to do, just because I love watching them. I'm glad they added that bit at the end where they're working for Macavity in the Macavity song scene. It kind of gives this one throwaway line in that song about Mungo Jerry. It kind of makes it have a reason for being there. They actually changed the line to add Rumpelteazer too, so it's cool. What can I say? I love these naughty cats.
There's nothing at all to be done about that.
So, you've heard of several kinds of cat, and my opinion now is that you should need no interpreter to understand these characters. So in the comments, tell me your Cats 2019 opinions, unless your opinion is that it's a bad movie, in which case I'm going to send your comment right to the Shadow Realm. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.